We'll go ahead and fire this thing up, bring it up to temperature. That's my radar detector, which I haven't got set up yet. Traction control, and then the digital control for the stereo. Over here is the controls for the radar detector. I'm going to have to calibrate my fuel sender gauge there. Boy, I don't want to run this thing out of fuel. Hopefully it's all okay. Hope, hope, hope. Getting some temperature built up into it. See if we can't get the heater on. Okay, now the other day when I ran this thing, everything went well until the fan came on, and then the fuse blew, the motor quit. So I pushed it in, parked it. Next day checked it out. All said and done, I got too much running off of one circuit, which was running that engine harness. So essentially, you know, the ignition, fuel pump, both fans were running off of a 25 amp circuit. So, you know, that's one of my downfalls doing electrical work. And anyways, so I got that fixed. I got a separate power supply now, plenty of juice to run the fans. So I feel comfortable. That should be pretty good. And then, you know, one more thing that's always kind of bugged me is my alternator wire. It's had a tiny little wire going from the alternator to the battery, and it just never did feel right. So I did some checking, and coming to find out, for this alternator, for this distance, you know, I need more like a 2-gauge wire. You know, and if you look on some of the charts on the internet, they even say maybe a little bit bigger wire. But this was like the minimum. So anyway, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to beef it up in a couple spots. So I'm going to run that brand new wire. The existing wire, I'll just snip it at both ends, so it'll just be a dead wire. I'm not going to spend the time to take it out of that harness. And I'll run a separate wire from the alternator underneath the car in a tunnel, secure it proper, insulate it proper, you know, around some of the touchy areas. Just pass through, you know, some of the moving parts with the brake, the belts, you know, stuff like that. Run it all the way through and then right up to the battery. So be able to pump lots of amps through that wire, keep that battery charged up. Okay, I just did another run. Let it get hot, go through a couple cycles with the cooling fan on and off. And I got everything rewired for the alternator. And then my cooling fan wire, so that worked good. Right now I got these fans going down here. Right down in there. I got one on each side. That's going to suck in cool air right past my intake. And that keeps this cavity inside there cool, which is where my fuel is. You know, when that was running, I stuck my hand in there. When that was running, I stuck my hand in there. And it was nice and cool. On the inside of this surface right here, you know, and those headers are just hot. And so when I turn those fans on, it blows air right past this. You know, it's going to promote airflow, sucking in cool air, and then right out the bottom through the splitter and up through the vent. So that's going to work out really good, and it keeps the CV boots cool. Yeah, it's completely cool to the touch. I just reached down there and felt that thing earlier. Burnt a little spot on my knuckle, but yet the boot is just cool as can be. You know, I realize it's open compartment still, but nevertheless that airflow is going to work out good, and it's going to help out. You know, you make a run, park it, kick those fans on, you're going to have air blowing through there, circulating, so that'll be cool. Yeah, it went good. Went through 2 or 3 different cycles on the cooling fan. Got no leaks to speak of. You know, a little bit of trace oil coming by the oil drain, and then you know, near the oil filter area. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. Sounding good, running good, feeling good. I think I got my wiring the way I want it. Feel better about putting that 2-gauge wire on the alternator. So I just snipped the wires that were there and run a separate one underneath. So yeah, good to go. Good to go. Okay, I did one more little change. Had both fans come on at the same time. It's quite a draw, and I think an overkill. So I'm going to have just one fan come on with the AC, one fan come on with the ECU to control the temperature, and then the second one I've got set up on a switch. So I'll be able to turn that on and off regardless whether the car's running or not. Kind of a secondary fan used in a parking lot or on a hot day if the first one isn't keeping up. And then that will keep it from making such a draw when the temperature turns that on. Just a little switch. And then this is the dimmer for the lights on the dash. And I did it. I got the panels on the front here. So ready for bulb seal and ready for the body to be put on. So yeah, it took quite a lot for me to finally decide to put that on. Just wanted to make sure everything was done. And I think that was kind of the last piece, so we'll move on. So I'll start looking for bulb seal. They already had that stuff fit. And putting the puzzle together as far as getting those pieces on here and getting things prepped out ready for the body to be put on. Okay, got the bulb seal ironed out. Got the fueler neck on there. And now I'm getting the underbelly panels in there. Get those with some seam sealer and riveted up in there. I've already did a couple of them on the sides over here, and I got the drain coming out from my radiator and the vents for the fuel lines. As soon as I get those panels done, I'll put these pieces of plastic. This is a skid system that I got from a forum member probably 3 years ago, which goes in the rails, underneath the rails of the car, and it just keeps, you know, a couple inches. Okay, got underneath done. Got the skid rails in there. I love this part back here. Protects the engine. And all the way up front. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. Got everything seam sealed. All the rivets. Keep the moisture out. So that's done underneath. Ready for the body to be put on. Pull these down out of the way. Still got to put the cover, inspection cover over the tranny. But man, I can't believe it. How done this thing is getting.